Michael Charles Adams here, and today I just want to encourage you, if I can. It's one thing to think outside of the box, but it's totally different. It looks totally different, at least, to not only think outside of the box, but to live outside of the box as well. And I think that's what God is calling us to do, to think and live outside of the box. So, for example, remember Jesus, he was saying, love your enemies. And loving your enemies means to think outside the box, really. I mean, that's a think outside the box thought. Many times when we think of loving someone, we say, if you love me, I'll love you. If you're down with me, I'm down with you. That's thinking inside of the box. So to love an enemy, or to love someone that doesn't like you, or to be okay with or support, or to help out the person who is talking about you behind your back at work and all of those different things, that's thinking outside of the box, to think that way. But here's the deal. God is not just calling us to think that, but he's also calling us to live that. And that looks totally different. It feels different. I mean, it's difficult to go to work and support, care for, help the person that you know is talking about you. Here's the thing. Why in the world would we do that? Great idea. Love it. Great idea. Why would we do that, though? And I was thinking about that, and 3 reasons came to mind. The first one is this. Jesus said, he was like, if you only love those who love you, what reward is it? There is more of a reward, or there is a reward, should I say, if you love those who don't love you. So that's number one. The reward is in loving those who don't love you. Number 2, the reflection of this attitude or this idea, it mimics and mirrors God, because God loved us while we were yet still enemies with him. You remember the Bible talks about how while we were yet still sinners, he loved us, showed love for us. Now imagine what it would look like if God didn't do that. Imagine what it would look like if God only thought outside the box, but did not live outside of the box. Christ wouldn't come to this world. He wouldn't live this perfect life. He would not have died for us and rose again. So number 2 would be, we do it because it reflects Christ, and our desire and goal is to be more like him. So to do that is to be more like Christ. But the last reason why we would do it, and which I think is most important, is that it glorifies the Father. Jesus said, let your light shine that men would see your good works and then glorify your Father who is in heaven. So when they see us loving people who don't love us, then it doesn't make people want to glorify us, but they glorify the Father, because normal people don't do that. So great idea, understanding what it is, why we should do it. What does it look like in practice? Like, how do we actually apply it? Let me be the first to say that loving someone who doesn't like me, I struggle with, I struggle with even loving well the people who do love me, let alone loving those who don't. So it's something that I'm even working through. But when we focus on what that looks like, it's today, who is it that you don't really care much for? Who is it at your job, at school? Who is it in your family that you haven't talked to because of some incident? Get this person in your head and start thinking, how can I love them? What is their most pressing need? How can I come in and support them? Here's the deal also to consider. The love that we give them, many times we begin to think, okay, if I love them, then they'll love me. We use that as like this tactic to get them to change. And that might work, but consider that your love that you give them or you show them does not guarantee that they'll love you back. And we can't go into this posture of loving our enemies with the idea that they'll change, because they won't. But if we go into it with that idea, then we'll become discouraged and we'll begin to think this loving our enemies as we love ourselves isn't worth it. And that's not true. God never said love your enemies so they love you back. He said just love them because love is perfect. God allows the rain to fall on the just and the unjust. We do it simply because it's what God has called us to do. It's our nature to do that. So this love that we have is no strings attached, thinking outside the box and living outside of the box. And I want to encourage you to do that today and the rest of this week and the rest of the month and going forward. And and I want to let me know how you feel about that. Let me know in the comments if it's something that you've been thinking about, if it's something God has been tugging on you about, and if it's a struggle, and what would that look like, or how hard would it be for you? As always, I'll talk to you soon. Hope you've been encouraged, and God bless you fully.